All right, we want to talk a little bit about implementing an email filtering solution. And this is relatively easy to do. And I also might add that this is also a great way to archive content so that you have some ability to forensically identify emails that could have been either fraudulent, tampered, or something like that. That's a huge requirement for organizations like brokerage or lawyers that basically have to be able to give information back for e-discovery purposes or regulatory requirements. So I just wanted to roll out for you the simplicity of the solution and kind of how cool it is. The first issue is that email and where email goes on the internet is really controlled by something called the Mail Exchange Record, or MX record for short. MX records determine basically where in the internet your server is and that it's a mail server. So every mail server out there is going to have an MX record. What we do is we basically provide you with an MX record update process that says, instead of using your email server, send us your email first. So that's this part here, where now instead of the email that's coming from the internet going directly to your server, we sort of put ourselves in the middle of it. What are the advantages of that? Well, this is cloud-based. So what that means is there's a lot of processing, storage capability going on right there. And that means that it's going to be really difficult to overwhelm those servers that are in, a high-performing data center, as opposed to perhaps your email server, which is maybe a little bit more dated and is somewhat constrained by the amount of bandwidth that it has. So what happens is email destined for your business comes in, looks up and says, oh, I'm supposed to go over to this cloud. It does. What happens in the cloud? Well, the email is analyzed. The email is, in some cases, the attachments are opened to check and see if they're malicious, and it's run through several, I'm going to say, algorithms to determine whether or not it's a legitimate email. It's compared to lists of illegitimate email that are transiting the internet, i.e. spam, and the attachments are analyzed by several antivirus engines to make sure that the attachments are legitimate attachments and not potentially malicious. So once the emails pass through all these checks, that email now goes from our server to your server. And that's really great, because now you know that this cloud processing has taken over and done its best to make sure that you're not going to get something really malicious. Then what happens is your email server delivers that to your clients. Now, what's really exciting is the process can work the other way around too. And what happens is you go from your client to your own email server. And rather than making your email server connect to every other possible email server out there by having to look up the MX record, you can simply send it to our email server and have the cloud process and direct where that email is supposed to go, and then send it out to the internet. The huge advantage to this scenario is that you have a record of the email here, and you have a record of the email here. And the nice thing is that you can easily determine whether or not something has been altered or changed if you have a regulatory requirement to do so. But more importantly, if this server vaporizes or gets broken, you still have our email servers to give you a level of redundancy and use while you figure out what you want to do about your email server situation that's on-premise. So the advantage of having both an on-premise email server and a cloud-based email server is really threefold. One, it can protect you from sending out massive amounts of spam from your organization or sending malicious attachments if something has gotten inside your organization. So it has a real good benefit for everyone else on the internet. Anything coming into your organization is scrubbed and also archived and indexed. So you have that ability to go for an extended outage period of time, but still deliver quality email services. I'm Ian Trump, Security Lead for Logic Now. Please subscribe, and we can subscribe by clicking on this cool red box right there.